in procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
And good afternoon and welcome to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. But today, standing in for Gilbert Buchanan is Mr. Gregory Sneed. I'm pleased. He also, you guys may recognize, he also is my co-host over at the community briefing. So he's doing double duty this week. So welcome. Glad to have you guys. Happy holiday season. Gilbert will not be here today because he unfortunately tested positive for COVID on Monday, and he had spent some time with friends on Thanksgiving that insisted that they were all vaccinated, and they were not. And so he has been, but he's not. He's doing okay. He has been vaccinated, so the severity, he doesn't have the severity, but he does have he has like a bad flu, and so he is feeling the effects of having a bad flu. So we're happy to have you guys, and welcome, Greg. Thank you so much for sharing the platform with me today.
Yeah, well, first off, my prayers and blessings to you, Gilbert. Hopefully you're watching, or if you'll get to see the recording, and that you feel better, that you're resting comfortably, and that in some way, that's how in-laws become outlaws.
True that.
Yeah. So our prayers and blessings are with you, my brother. And I was just bopping to the intro, and we look forward to seeing you back real soon.
Yeah, we will be missing you today, Mr. Gilbert. But we do want you to get better, and we are so happy that you're vaccinated. So this is not as severe as it could possibly be, and we want to thank you. We want to thank you for keeping yourself healthy, and that you did go and get your vaccination, and that you're going to get your booster when you are all done with this. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So Greg, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Gregory Sneed. I'm in financial services. I have been doing that for, give up my age, but 4 decades plus. And I help my clients keep more of the money they make. I market life insurance, long-term care. I do financial coaching, and I teach financial literacy. My slogan is, I believe that when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life.
Ain't that the truth? Greg, I always say to people, when I have money, I'm on top of the world. Nothing really bothers me at all. When my money starts to get a little funny, oh, I am not a happy camper, and everything in the world seems like it's going wrong when you don't have any money. So I like that slogan. How about you? When you come short on money, how do you feel?
What's the slogan? That your money's funny, your change is strange, and your credit won't get it.
There you go. That's what I say as well. So you guys, if you need to understand money and how to make money work for you, and as opposed to you working for it, you want to reach out to Mr. Gregory Sneed. He'll pop his information in the chat, and I'll share it with you. But we want to welcome you here. So, Greg, how has your week been?
Week's been good. I got a nice I won't say a gift, but I was speaking to an existing client, and it was helping her with an issue, and she was asked how things are going on. I said, it's a challenge because I'm used to doing in-person seminars. Now I got to transfer to this video environment. And she's like, well, you know what? Are you conducting seminars virtually now? Oh, of course, by Zoom. So she said, tell you what, I have a little one-sheet page that describes what we do. And so she says, I'm going to send it out to some of my coworkers. Oh, fantastic. And she sent out an email, and she copied me on the email. And not only did she send it out, but she sent a glowing endorsement of my work, and sent it to 33 people. So that was it makes you feel good you know,
Yes.
and the things that she said that were very, very warm and sincere. And she's like, you got to talk to this guy, you know, he'll take great care of you. So I think that was a highlight of my week.
I like that. That's pretty cool. You know what? Now that you think about it, we probably should actively. I know it feels like it's you're not being humble, but reach out to our existing clients and ask them to do a tribute. I know on my LinkedIn, you and another friend of mine were the very first people that gave me a recommendation on my LinkedIn profile. Was the
Yeah.
both of you guys? So I think that's important
It's a
because
recommendation or endorsement or something like that. Because I sent it to, I have a sales coach that I use, and I said, hey, I got this great referral. And he said, no, you didn't. That's an endorsement. That's not a referral. That's an endorsement. So,
yeah, so an endorsement. So I think
yeah,
all of us that when, especially if we're all colleagues and peers, we should all be endorsing each other because we know each other. We know what kind of business we do, right? Especially if we're spending time to refer clients to you, the least we could do is endorse you on your social media, on your LinkedIn.
exactly. Exactly.
I think
Mhm.
I'm gonna implement that. So I'm gonna go over and endorse you on your for your business so we can make
Oh, I
sure
appreciate that. Thank you
you
so much.
get your company. So yeah, that's pretty well, that's good. I like that. I like
Yeah,
it when people recognize you for the hard work you do, because sometimes it doesn't feel like that, right?
yeah, yeah. You know
Yeah.
what the best endorsement is?
What?
The one on the back of a check.
Ah, yeah, huh? Or when you get a notification that your PayPal or your Cash App or your um has money in it now. I like those endorsements as well.
Yeah. Well, our topic today is technically challenging. Or, you know, are you technically challenged? And you know, speaking of a check, how rare it is now to physically write out a check or receive a paper check.
You know, that's so true. And it's so funny because I bank at Broadway Federal, which is now City First Bank. They merged with a bank from back east, right? And so when they were going through the process of switching over the account, and it was a little hairy there for one weekend. But then I thought, wow, I don't really need to order checks because when was the last time I wrote a check? So I don't need checks. I mean, I do everything electronically now, and then yeah, I don't need checks. And if I and the, on the rarity that I do, then I can just go to the bank and get a counter check for that. But who needs a check?
Yeah, I still write some checks
Do
periodically.
you? Do
Yeah,
you? Do
yeah.
you?
Well, for a long time, my gardener wanted a check, and
Okay.
now Chase, I go online and click, you know, and they send out by mail a paper check to him. So
Oh.
I just you know click and say okay, pay him, and he's set up in my payees,
Mm-hmm.
and I just say okay, here's the amount, and hit send, and it will I think have the option of sending it by Zelle, so he gets it instantly. He doesn't want that. He's old school. He wants paper.
Oh, okay. He wants to physically take it to the bank so that he can deposit.
I think it's more he's trying to track who of his customers are paying.
Ah,
You know, because
so
he still hand writes out a slip and puts it in my
okay,
mailbox. So
okay.
he hasn't gotten to that technical level there. And I had a contractor. He did some work for me. He wanted a check.
Mm.
So I still have I still have checkbook and I still writing checks, but
Oh,
very
okay.
very
Yeah.
yeah.
Very few of them. Yeah, most of mine. Let me see. Do I? No, I send everything. If I'm not sending it by PayPal or my invoicing system for QuickBooks actually allows me to send a invoice, and then they can actually pay through that, and then I can do the same thing for my clients as well. So I guess I'm more automated than not, but I can see if they want to have, a backup to make sure that they got paid and it matches up with their manual system, because that's the only way you can to match it up with your manual system.
Hmm.
So we're getting there. But years ago I took the Biz Camp kids to the what do they call it? It's downtown where they do all the processing of monies that come in. What is it? The federal. What it is over on Hope Street, but it's all the checks, all of the dollar, everything comes through this depository. I think there's one here, there's one in San Francisco, and there's one in DC. And so when we took the kids there, they were saying how 10, 15, 20 years ago, then all the checks actually processed through this federal depository, and they used to have tons of checks. Now they have hardly any checks, and now they have dollars, and they also are able to pull out counterfeit dollars and all that sort of stuff, right? But they eventually, they were saying that the future, they wouldn't even have the dollars or the coins coming through there. Eventually, everything is going to be electronic. And that was about, I want to say we did that with the kids about 8 years ago. So we are close to that place where we're operating digitally, and all monies is kind of circulating through some sort of digital app that money can then be processed. And look at the banks. You can take a picture of your check and it just goes right through the process at the bank. Does your bank have that service?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ours is Broadway Federal. That's one of the perks or the benefits of the merger, is by next year we're going to have that opportunity. Right now I have to run my checks to the bank.
Yeah. No, I take picture of my checks all the time. I have one sitting here that's a $10 check. And for some reason the photo capture, the background, it's not capturing, so it won't, so I physically have to take that in, and it's been sitting here probably 3 months.
Because you got to physically go to the bank.
$1,000 or 10,000, it would be I'd have been to the bank. But yeah, I got a 10. I'm not even sure where it is, and I know I haven't deposited, but it's somewhere on my desk. But it's interesting because I believe that when you used to have your money, you could count it. It was in your wallet. It was in your pocket. I still recommend to my clients that you keep some paper currency, that you keep some money at home, because if we've got an earthquake or some the bank ATM system gets hacked and you need to buy gas or milk or something, they may not be able to transact electronic business, but coins and dollars they'll still accept. So I do recommend having a stash of some money, not a lot, but at least probably $100, and in small denominations, not $100 bill. You go to buy for $5 and you got $100. No, we got no change, man.
Right, exactly. You actually are absolutely right, because I remembered back to during Katrina, that was one of the issues. You couldn't get to the bank in order to get cash. So when they talk to you about having your emergency kit, then in that kit you should actually have some physical dollars and some change, so that you actually could have money until you're able to relocate back to your home, if by some chance you couldn't get to your home. So that should be in your emergency kit, for in the event that some catastrophe takes place. And because if the power goes out, then so does all of the ATM machines.
That's right.
Yeah, so all of that happens. So
it doesn't have to be power. It can just be the banking system, runs into an issue. And so it doesn't even have to be right here. It could be somewhere, because the network may not be here in California. It's somewhere in the plain states in Iowa or something, what have you. But if it goes down, then you can't transact business. And if you need some just small stuff here and there, some food items, that you've got it. So
yeah, like that's so. So we can't be completely, totally dependent upon digital world. We do have to have some cash laying around. As my girlfriend used to say, her parents were from Cuba, and so when Castro took over for Cuba, they couldn't get all their money out. And so when he came to the United States to live, he said, keep some money under your mattress. He called it mattress money. Keep your mattress money. So in the event that you have to do a mad dash, then you can just grab your money and get to where you need to get to. Because if not, you can't get to your money if the government sees all your money. So
that's right.
Yeah, that was a living testimony.
Yeah. In fact, I remember there was a show when we were with Gilbert. We were talking about the system that they use in the island, the partner system, and something else, and how you give money and to somebody, and they're kind of like the bank. Anyway, just we're in a different world, different.
We're living in a different world, and that's why
Mhm.
we have to have this conversation we're going to have today, is because we can no longer continue to do business as we've been doing, especially after the pandemic, when everything that we did had to be done online. And so making sure that our small business owners and our individuals understand how important it is for them to not say that they're technically challenged, but to start bragging that they're technically savvy.
Well, our guest is going to share some ideas and some ways that our listeners can make that happen.
Yes, that. So we're excited about that. And also, we have Dr. Sharon Peterson coming in today. She's an alumni manager for the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. It's a small business initiative. And so not only having technical savviness, but also having the technical assistance that helps small businesses move to the next chapter for their business. And yesterday, Greg, we had Constance Anderson on from the Center of Lindustry, and I asked her a question: is where, uh, how should the businesses be planning for the future at post pandemic? And she is in agreement that the first thing they need to do is become technically savvy.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because everything we're doing is online. I actually kind of prefer it this way, but I don't know. Not everybody does. I think I'm on time for all of my meetings. I have no traffic to get to my meetings unless I have traffic from one room to the other room, from the imaginary people that may be in the hallway. But other than that, what a way to do business. And I can reach far more people than I did when I was physically training. How about
Right.
you?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might, well, so now my traffic is, in order to get to my office, I've got to walk through the kitchen, so I can get delayed there.
Well, there you go. Unless there's something in the household that is delaying you
Yeah.
from getting to your place of business, I think this is cool. I
Yep.
I had for the first time, and it was a couple of months ago, I had an appointment, a physical appointment, and I normally don't do physical, but I had a physical appointment. So we haven't even been driving around, right? So the place wasn't even far from where I live, and for whatever reason, I got all turned around, and I ended up being late. For an appointment that was 15 minutes away from my house. So I said, we had done this on Zoom, I'd been on time. What can I
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
I forgot how to drive through the community in order to get to my, and not remembering, because by that time traffic had picked up. And so I'm thinking it's a clear shot, but coming down Slauson, but it's never a clear shot when all the traffic in the middle of the day is on Slauson. So I was not prepared for the Slauson traffic. So that's one of the things. So I'm excited about the show. I know you're going to pop in and out with me today, but before you leave, before you have to pop away, I'm going to bring Dr. Peterson on, and you can say hello to her. You actually moderated and hosted when we had her on the community briefing. So I'm going to bring her on, and then we're going to talk to her about the 10,000 small business. And when you have to pop out, you just have to pop out. All righty. All right, Dr. Peterson, we're going to bring you in. And everyone, you are tuned in to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. Today, I have a guest co-host, Mr. Gregory Sneed. And you can find this program on Facebook, streaming live on the Business Zone, as well as we stream live on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the button. Tell a friend to pop over every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. So with that, I am going to bring in Dr. Peterson. Hello.
Hello.
How are you today, Dr. Peterson?
I am doing well.
Oh, good to hear that. And look at that, Dr. Peterson. So let me give you guys a little bit. Dr. Peterson, on the spot, she wanted to get rid of her background. I gave her a software. She went and downloaded. I am so proud of her. She went on, downloaded, fixed it all up, and here she is.
Yes, I am so proud myself.
So you get a technical button today, huh?
Yes.
Savvy button today. So how are you? I am going to pull up your bio right now and tell everyone who you are as soon as I
Okay.
find it. I had it up. It disappeared on me. Hold on one second. So how was your holiday? Why I find this information?
It was great. It was very restful. I have to say that I was very lazy and just enjoyed myself.
Me too. The best part about holidays for me is that my clients are on holiday and they are not calling me. That is the part that I like best about holidays. So, everyone, we have here today Dr. Sharon Peterson. She is the Southern California Regional Center for Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Initiative. Dr. Peterson is the alumni manager. She supports the Southern California alumni and is liaison to the National 10,000 Small Business Alum Program prior to becoming the alumni manager for the Small Business Initiative. She was the president of Gilbert Consulting, and she works with small to medium-sized companies. She has worked as a consultant with several small business development centers and business owners over the past decade, helping small businesses achieve economic impact in their community. And her expertise is loan packaging and developing marketing and sales strategy. We want to welcome you, Dr. Peterson, to the show. And today we're talking about our businesses becoming much more tech savvy as well as technically savvy to run their small businesses. So, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
So, tell us a little bit more about you than that bio that I read and what motivates you to do what you do.
Well, it's very interesting because I actually started out in corporate America, marketing some of the big companies, PepsiCo, some of the other ones. And I really wanted to do something where I could make a really big impact. And I found that working with the small business owners is so rewarding because you see some businesses that are already started and they grow, and you see some people that want to start businesses, and you help them get into business, and you get to kind of live through them and a lot of their adventures and things they're going through. So that's really what's, because I like teaching and I like actually being able to impart information. So doing that with the small business owners is great.
What are some of the challenges that you have seen that small businesses have starting their businesses?
I think one thing is that if you are, just say you come from a corporate background, I've seen people come from a corporate background, at least they might have a little bit more information about what they want to do because they've had time to formulate it in that corporate background. But then some people are very creative and they start a business. So I think that the challenge is how to grow. It's okay to start the business, but how do you stay in business and how do you grow?
Mm. Yeah, I agree. Um, and what does I know several friends of mine actually a number of years ago went through the 10,000 small business program. What exactly does that entail and how does that help them grow or position themselves to grow?
Okay. So we say the 10,000 Small Businesses Initiative actually is very good for businesses that want to grow or get to the next level, we say. And what that does is we have several modules that we take them through. We call it a mini MBA on steroids because it's over a 3 to 4 month period, and you will get a lot of the material that you would get in an MBA program. The difference is that the material is customized and developed by Babson College of Boston. They're the #1 entrepreneurial training college in the country, and they developed the criteria for the curriculum for us. And the curriculum, so they have, the business owner has the ability to be able to go through the curriculum, and we call it use invisible theory that they can apply immediately. So they can come into the classroom in marketing and take what they learned that day and go back to their business and use it.
Oh, okay. Then that's a really good course if you actually can apply it that later that day and get some results from what they've learned.
Yes. So we've had
Awesome.
several success stories. The only thing we have to say is you're still in the class, so don't forget the class and just start applying everything. Let's try to get through the material as we go.
Okay. Greg, did you have any?
No, part of the business also should be what's the end game. Oops, is what's the end game in business? Because are you? Sorry about that. I should have muted this. They won't shut up. Talk about technology.
Technology.
There we go. Part of the business is also what is the end game. So
Yeah.
you got into business. So are you looking for it to be long term? Are you looking to build the business and then get bought out? So do you want to create a certain valuation? Because everybody's focused on the startup. Okay, so
Right.
now you start up. Now you're there. So what do you do? And then if it's a family business, let's say you've inherited from a parent, there, I forget what the percentages are, but there's a large percentage of the owner transferring it to the kids,
Yes.
to the second generation, but the percentage drops dramatically when it goes to that third generation. And so now, you know, what do you do? Because I had a couple of friends that have a business, and their sons and daughters had absolutely no interest in running it at all. So they have to either sell it or sell it to internally. It's a good challenge. So it's a different dynamic to add on top of your business planning. What's your end game? Are you looking to stay in this, or are you looking to just build some value and then create this company, sell it off, and then start all over?
Yes. And it's very interesting you said that, because our program is pretty comprehensive. And when they come in, it's really to identify a growth opportunity, because we're saying, okay, how are you going to grow? And so they identify a growth opportunity. Maybe it's a new product or service. Maybe it's going into a new market, or it could be another method of growing. But then we take that and build out a 5-year growth plan with 5-year projections, revenue projections. So they get something called money and metrics, where they get to understand financials. That's one of the things I think Crystal can probably attest to this, is that a lot of business owners don't understand their financials. So, you know, the fact that, as you were talking about checks, the fact that I could write a check doesn't mean that money's in the bank, right? So
definitely.
As long as I have checks, I still have money, right?
right. So we let them understand how to look at a financial statement, a P&L statement, or a balance sheet, and really understand what it's saying. Because I was talking to someone today, and I said, you know, they might look intimidating, those sheets, but it's really telling a story. You should be able to talk about it like you're telling a story about your business. And so they learn how to do that. And then they go into the key elements that, as you mentioned, some of the things they need to grow. What do you need to do to be a leader? What is it to be a leader of your company? And what about the people? How do you hire the right people? How do you retain them? That's a big problem right now with a lot of companies. I've heard people say it's almost like a merry-go-round. People come in and 2 weeks later they're out because they're not really fitting, or they decide that the company's not fit for them. And then we talk about marketing and selling. How do you market your business and selling? A lot of people are doing digital marketing right now. That's a big thing, talking about going online. But there's so many other elements to it. How do you identify the right customer? And then going into operations and processes, where a lot of time businesses have redundant processes in their business where it's really causing them money or causing things not to happen. And then after that, they go into really, what does it take if you need financing to get that? And as you know, Greg was talking about, we talk about really those exit strategies, because everyone doesn't want to keep this until the day that they can't work anymore. They might want to pass it on to their family, or maybe even pass it on to employees. I had a couple of business owners that did the ESOP programs, you know, the employee programs. So, but all this goes into a 5-year plan for their company. And so that's one of the really great pieces that I think comes out of this initiative when they finish.
And I think that's absolutely awesome. There's one business that I know personally that went through through your program, the 10,000 Small Business, and that's Greg Doolin
Mhm.
for Doolin Soul Food. And oh my God, when he completed the program, I could immediately see what you guys, the key factors and the touch points that you guys had worked with him on, because he has created this massive marketing machine that has been extremely beneficial for the growth of his business. And I've watched him over the years, and I was like, wow. I mean, he's innovative and he's disruptive and he's willing to take looks like very calculated risks, but he's looking at his business from a holistic place versus just from I'm in business, I'm working in this business,
Yeah.
and that's all I need to do. He actually is looking at it as to I'm working on my business and not working in my business.
Yes, and that's what we say. We tell them they need to work on their business, not in the business.
Yeah,
So he
I
learned
like
well.
that. He did. He did. I will give you guys. I mean, I was like, wow. I saw it. I saw it start to materialize. Like soon as he finished the program, and I still am watching him implementing obviously certain strategies and skills that you guys helped him to develop, and I still see him doing that in this business. And I want to say, Greg was one of the first ones. When did the program first launch in Los Angeles?
2010.
Yeah, so that's when Greg, I think, actually participated. And I want to say it was around the same time that the Endeavor was coming through Los Angeles. Remember the spaceship came
Yes.
through? And I think he finished your program right at that time. And he actually launched on the day that the Endeavor came down Crenshaw. And all of us spent all day long in front of Greg's Doolin, in front of his restaurant, and that's what we ate all day long.
Yeah, sounds like Greg.
Yeah, so I thought that was fun and awesome, but it's so important. And when we talk about the financial piece of it, when clients of mine come to me, Dr. Peterson, they're coming because someone has referred them to me, right? They're trying to get capital, so they don't have financials, or they have a tax issue, and that's usually how they get to me, right?
Okay.
So once I get the initial, and they're fighting and pushing back a little bit on me helping them set up their accounting system, then I say to them, but now let's look at the financial reports and let me show you exactly what you can learn from those financial. And they're like, oh my God, this is all here. So now, right, huh?
The story there.
It starts there, right? Because you can see how much money you made during a certain period that you, from the first quarter to the second quarter. You can see when your business starts to taper off, so you can find out what your downtime is, and then you need to be looking at other streams of revenue or other opportunities for you that you can increase those revenue streams. But they are like blown away that they can get all of that information from a financial report.
Yeah, I know that they're your friend if you let them be in the financial.
So how does one get into your program?
So it's really very simple. There is, they can go to www.10ksbapply.com.
Okay.
And on there is an online application, and they can fill that out and select the site they want to go to. So we, in Southern California, we have two sites, one at Long Beach and the other at Los Angeles City College. So we have those two sites.
So two sites, and it's www.
10, the number 10, KSB apply.
KSB
apply. APPLY.com.
And there are two sites.
Yeah, if they go there, they'll be able to select the site that they would like to go to, depending on where they live.
And that's in LA and Long Beach?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, do they have to have been in business for a certain period of time? Do they have to earn a certain amount of money?
Yeah, so we are looking for businesses. Again, this is a growth plan. So we're looking for businesses that have been in business for 2 years and with 4 employees and 150,000 in revenue. Now,
Okay.
recently, because of COVID, we had lowered that to been in business for 2 years with 1 employee and $100,000.
Okay, but now you're back to 4 employees.
Yeah, but those people that, because COVID is not really over, we just heard that with what you said, right?
Yeah, right.
So we would still look at the businesses in
Okay.
that other category. Yes.
And this may be a good program for those businesses that were able to get capital assistance through the California relief and the federal relief programs.
Yes.
And now maybe they may have hired because they had, revenue, and they're just right there at the brink. And so now to get ready for the post-pandemic, they need to really gear up for learning how to work in today's new business world. So
Yes,
is that
that's correct.
yeah. Okay. So for those of you that are looking, have a growth business, been in business for 2 years, have a minimum of 4 employees, and are earnings of $150,000. But you can also apply if it's just a little bit more, like, since we're still in COVID.
Yes.
The COVID world that we're living in. But this is a good time, I think. I think all of us should be in what happens. I know we're still in the middle of it, and it doesn't look like there's an insight in place, but I'm sure there is. But we still have to be looking at our businesses, because I think the key is not always loans, but is your business actually has reached its earning capacity? And I
Right.
guess you guys can you attest to the fact that most people have not even come close to maxing out their earning capacities for small businesses?
Yes, I would say that's definitely true. Because
Yeah.
when they get into the program, they discover all these things that they can actually, I want to say, customize a little bit differently that they're already doing. And then some things they can add and just get the most out of it. It's almost like someone says, they get the most out of the squeeze of the lemon. Well, they haven't gotten all the juice out yet, right? They've been squeezing, but not all the juice is out. So
I agree.
they need to understand. And 2, I just wanted to go back on the number of employees. I know as a business owner, you don't like to think of yourself as an employee, but if you count yourself as one of those employees, that's part of that number you need, right, to get in, right?
Yeah, they never think of themselves as employees. I'm the owner.
Yeah,
But
but that's one of the 4 or 2 employees that we're talking about, and it can be also full-time, part-time, and 1099. So it doesn't have to be all full-time.
oh, okay. So you guys are very flexible. So how are they? Is this a online programming, or and what is the time commitment for the businesses that actually do get accepted in the program?
Okay. We are leaving now this great period where we pivoted to online all the way
Okay.
from March of 2020 to actually now in 2022, we're scheduled to go back in the classroom. So
Okay.
that's where it will be 8 hours on Fridays, and those will be in class. But it's so much going on. It's not just sitting there listening. You're in a very interactive environment where you're doing exercises, you're working with the other business owners, you're doing a lot of things that break the day up, and you're going through that day and learning different things that you can take again and go home and use.
And
So
what's the time frame? 8 hours for how long? Is it a
so
full
it's
week?
8 hours, and then it's over. So for instance, we have a class starting in January at Los Angeles, at Long Beach City College. And so we start in January. So we're talking like 3 months from there, right? So
Oh,
January to like
okay.
March.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And
some are every Friday, some is every other Friday. It depends on what we're doing.
okay, is there a cost for them to participate in this program?
The cost, I'm quite sure they will really like this, because the cost is not exactly zero, because you do have to commit your time. So if you value your time and put a cost on it, yes, there's time and there's cost to it. But as far as the monetary cost, zero. This is a scholarship from Goldman Sachs to those that are accepted. That's why there's an application process. And then you fill the application out and you go through an interview. If you meet the criteria, and then we decide if you're accepted into the program based on all of the things we've seen in your actual application and your interview.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I invested in my business 2 years ago, and I think I spent about $1,900 to learn how to create online courses. So free, zero. Yes, my time, but even your time, you're still now being able to formulate to work your business time more efficiently if you're learning tools that is going to help you grow your business. Because most of the time it's I coined this as most of our businesses fell into business.
Yes.
Right.
And then I say a lot of them grow to a level of incompetence, and that's when they need the program.
That's when they get right, exactly, because that incompetence means I'm gonna put up my big dartboard and I'm just gonna throw some darts and I'm gonna hope this plan works.
Right. And that's why we want you to have employees, because when you come to the classroom, we want your mind to be freed up, that you are 100% there physically and mentally, so you can focus and get the tools and the information you need to grow your business. And you know that while you're in class, someone's there managing the business so that you don't have to worry about it.
That's awesome. And so I think I heard you say that you even help those business owners really learn how to hire the right people that's going to
Yes.
help their businesses grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hire slowly, hire slow, and then just make sure that you're hiring the right person, because sometimes we're so eager to grab an employee that we're not really interviewing them the way we need to, or looking at the things that we need to. And you learn all of that in the program. And another thing too is when you come into the program, to add to the no cost, all the materials that you'll need will be given to you. You don't need to buy any books or anything. It's all given to you. If you have a laptop, you want to bring that, that's fine, but it's not any materials that you need to buy.
All right, guys, there is no reason why one day out of the month, out of the week, is to go over to get a class that is going to give you so much value, that is going to help you grow your business. I don't even know why you guys should be all here on social media screaming at me. It's like, how do I get there? So I'm going to make sure, Dr. Peterson, that we get this information out, because the future of our businesses has to be where we are not working in those businesses, we're working on those businesses. And I really like the fact that you guys focus on the hiring the right employee. I know I've had so many people go, I try to hire people and they're just not right. And my question always is, so what is it you're looking for? And they're like, what? What is it looking for? Are you looking for just a warm body, or are you looking for someone that's qualified to do the job that you need them to do?
Right. And there's some other things that I didn't mention. I know that a lot of business owners say, it's lonely being a business owner, because I'm not going to go to my employees and say, oh, I'm really concerned about the business. They don't have anyone to talk to. Well, when you're in this program, you're in the program with 30 to 40 other business owners, CEOs. So you have this, I want to call it community, that you can collaborate, that you can have your couch sessions with, your therapy sessions with, and you are assigned a business advisor that walks with you the entire time through the program or the initiative, that you can actually counsel you and help you through the areas that you need while you're in the program, to understand them better, to be able to do what you need to get through, and to help you with understanding what you need to do to write your growth plan that you come out with.
That's awesome. That is so important. Well, thank you guys for offering this program to our small business owners. And I'm definitely going to refer businesses over to you, because I think it's so important where we're going now. And, one of the things as the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, the pushback I've always gotten for supporting Black businesses is that they're not run properly and the customer service is not there, and all of these components that need to be there for you to be successful in business. And so a lot of times that's the excuse I get anyway. So when I first became the co-director or first start working with Recycling Black Dollars, I was like, okay, I'm going to be one of the conduits to make sure that you are the businesses that I'm referring to you, that won't be your complaint. That's going to be my job, is to make sure that at least the basics. But I think the one thing that we for the future have to be looking at is getting our businesses prepared for what the future entails. And so we can no longer continue to do business as we have been doing.
Yes. And I also wanted to comment just briefly on the words, the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Initiative. 10,000 really means something, because if you look over the United States, all of the sites, we have over 19 sites that have these programs across the country. There are over 10,000 small businesses as of last November that have been through this initiative. And in the Southern California area, there's over 1,100 businesses in Southern California that have been through this initiative. So there's this vast community and network to really to plug into once you're part of it.
Okay, that's fantastic. Well, Dr. Peterson, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been very informative. We're going to make sure that we are getting the information out. This podcast will air. It's broadcasting live now on Facebook and YouTube. But I also afterwards I plug it into a podcasting network, and then it goes over 10 different channels. So hopefully you guys will get some more eligible businesses that will apply. When is the deadline for the January class?
So that one's already passed. We actually are doing the interviews for those now, but we take the applications anytime. So don't let a deadline be the key. Just go ahead and apply, and we'll plug you into the next cohort after this one.
So sounds good to me. Well, thank you so much. You've been so great, and you are doing some good work, and I can see it for the businesses that I know that have gone through it. So I think you're making the decision to move from corporate America to do business, to help our small business community, was a good decision.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on your program today.
Thank you so much. So appreciate it. So appreciate you. And I'll make sure you get a copy of this.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. So now we have Miss Dr. Rosie is going to come on, and she is going to address an issue that she and I have been talking about for such a long time, on how we get our businesses technically ready to apply for programs that are out there that most of the time our businesses are not eligible for, because they can't even use the basic computer. So we want to make sure that we address this. So Dr. Rosie has been talking about this. Hello, Dr. Rosie. You are muted, I believe.
No, I was asking, was Jacqueline on my partner?
Oh, yes, here she is. Well, let me see if she's here. I see. There she goes. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm good. Greg just came back in, so I'm going to bring Greg on. So before I'm going to introduce both Dr. Rosie and as well as Jacqueline. So first, Dr. Rosie, this is my mentor. I love me some Dr. Rosie. When I grow up, I am going to be just like her. She's a force to be reckoned with. and she even has a title in the South LA. She's the mayor of South LA, and she doesn't miss her words in getting you to do what you need to do. So Dr. Rosie, she's an author. She's a publisher, and one of LA's renowned financial gurus, and a seasoned estate planner, business and credit consultant. She's also holds her PhD in business administration. She is sought out after nationwide for her business and financial coaching services. She's authored 26 books, including what you need to know before you start a business, and departing this life's preparations and getting out of debt made simple. So with that, I am welcoming Dr. Rosie and her partner in this new amazing project that she is implementing is Jacqueline. She is a computer science educator, STEM curriculum developer, author, and innovator. She is living her purpose-driven life. She is learning, teaching, and clearing a path for learners to create, develop, and lead. She's the president and COO of Girls Pursuing Science and an executive director and co-founder of Kids in Technology. Jacqueline, welcome to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. It's such a pleasure to meet you. And I don't think I've met her, Dr. Rosie, have I?
Kind of slightly. She was a part of the expo at one time coming in. You know, you probably saw her during the training, but you haven't really met her. She was attending Black Rise on Tour for the last few years when we were physically on the ground with Girls Pursuing Science.
Okay. Well, we're so happy to meet you. I'm so happy to meet you. You know, I'm sure Dr. Rosie has told you I do a youth program as well, and for young kids, teaching them how to be entrepreneurial. So maybe there's some synergy for you and I. Definitely for you to come in and talk to the kids. We're trying to incorporate technology into their for them to build businesses that are in the technical space and the digital space. So welcome to the both of you guys.
Thank you.
Okay. So Dr. Rosie and Greg is back. Hey, Greg. So tell me what inspired this new business idea that you have going on. And I'm going to share this while we are speaking.
Well, you know, I believe in finding a need and feeling. And it's really important. I had thought about having a school dealing with technology for a while back, but during COVID, it just brought it closer to reality, Christians. I watch people were coming into our office who didn't know how to fill out their unemployment application. And what I noticed in our community, there was a lot of people, y'all, that was really raped financially. People were charging them a third of whatever they were getting for their PPP just to fill out their application. They were charging people to help them fill out their certification for unemployment. And I watched people as they poured into the office. You know, my staff went almost 50% of their time working free for the public. Because what could you do when these people can't fill out the forms? So much was taking place. So we just had to help. And, you know, and I said to my staff, well, you know what? Now, we are not a nonprofit organization up here, but we have to help the people. So when I saw how pitiful, when I saw how far that our people lag behind in technology, it just made my heart bleed. And I realized it's so important. Now I'm going to say something very provocative, may get put off your show. There's three things that Blacks have going against them. There's 3 strikes. Number 1, you can't do nothing about being Black. That's one. Number 2, you're not bilingual. And number 3, you're not tech savvy. When you have those 3 strikes against you for your children, rest assured they're going to be in the toilet. If you don't make sure that they're bilingual and make sure they are tech savvy, those things we can do something about. You can't do anything about the first one. So I hooked up, and I knew Jacqueline been doing computers for years and teaching over 20 years. She started out when I met her. She had written a book jamming on my PC to teach inmates how to be ready. That's straight 20 years ago. She had a contract going into the prison to teach prisoners how to deal with technology. She's in Tennessee. Crystal, we have done something that you always talk about. We like to solo business. Everybody out here doing their own thing. She's in Tennessee. I'm out here. We hooked up. And I mean, we're on the road. And we want to help our people. We want to bridge the gap. Bridge the gap.
Well, thank you. And Jacqueline, what inspired you to work with Dr. Rosie, other than the fact that she is the most amazing human being on this planet? And I don't know how you could have been, you could have said no.
Absolutely not. You can't say no to Dr. Milligan. She absolutely is a true inspiration and just have a heart for helping. And there's just so much synergy there. I've been in the nonprofit space working with children for a long time. So we both have big hearts. And, my degree is in computer science. I am a scientist. And it just made sense, to be able to work with Dr. Milligan, to do what I love to do, and that's teach. I'm living my purpose-driven life. I was born to teach. I often say I can teach anybody anything, regardless of what it is. I'm a teacher. I love to teach. So it just made sense to me. And she just provided an opportunity for me to utilize my technical skills to do what I love to do and to fulfill my God-driven purpose.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm looking at your screen. Can you guys see the screen that I'm sharing? Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's saying you have social media crash course, get up to speed in 60 minutes, 10 Instagram strategies that bring 6 figures. I think I need to join that one. Level up your Microsoft Office skills. That is so important. I cannot tell you how many people ask me when I'm helping them prepare their business plans, and we can't even get to the business. We can't get the business plan out their head, the paper, because they don't know how to use the computer. 10 Facebook marketing strategies that make 20 grand a month. Oh yeah, I definitely need to share that. Doing that one. But just even basic computer skills, Microsoft Word for beginners. These are just like basic classes that people need to know how to use just to do day-to-day businesses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's incredible. Here's one that I have, Jackie. I teach businesses how to use QuickBooks, right? In my area is accounting and bookkeeping, and I train on this class, but also how to for entrepreneurial startup classes and business classes and things like that. But generally, when I go to teach them something, most people, and you can attest to this or not, but I find that people just look in the center of their screen. They never take in the whole screen. They just look right in the middle. And when you say, go over here and click that button, they're like, I can't see it. Where is it? So do you have a class on that?
Crystal, reading is not fundamental. And I think that's what it goes back to. Really, it's not just your computer screen, but if you really think about it, plus not to mention the fact that I work with kids. I traditionally work with kids up until this is the first time, actually, the second time, because I've worked with adult inmates back in the day. I had contracts with the Bureau of Prisons, but I've worked with kids for the most part, but people don't read. That's how we get into contract trouble. That's how we get into things like, didn't you sign in the agreement? Yeah, I signed it, but you sign your name here, and they never read it. So people just, reading is not fundamental. The bottom line at the end of the day. So it's not only with technology on the screen, just looking, and then sometimes there's like this fear factor, with getting into technology. You can't break it. I just remember that I played this really cruel trick on my sister one time. I put this big screensaver on her computer, said, if you touch me, I'm going to blow up. So when she came in her room, the screensaver was on, and she saw that coming, and I was in the living room just killing myself laughing, and she was afraid to touch the computer, screaming, calling me to the back. We gotta learn and get to be computer savvy. But I did that trick on her just to see, it's crazy how we, Dr. Miller, we have these conversations all the time about how people are just not computer savvy. So people are just afraid, that's why they'll stand at the center of the screen, don't want to touch anything, or if I touch this and that's going to happen. So that was my way of just bringing her out of her shell. I mean, not just bringing her, but pushing her out. Like, hey, touch this thing. I mean, you can't break it. You can't. Yeah. Get your face out of the center of the screen, and
other than taking it and throwing it up against the wall. That's about the only way you can break a computer today. Now, back in the day, but you had to literally take it and throw it across the room and break the computer itself before you can actually break the computer. Greg,
I'll quickly add this one thing. Common sense is not that common.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's funny how people would asked how they could get to a certain website, we would tell them how they could do certain things. I said, go to your URL. What's that? I mean, they actually didn't know anything. And it was so pitiful. My heart just bled when I saw how far, and it's not just you all that it was. Some people think, oh, I know it's kind of hard for the elderly. These were not elderly people who, you'd be surprised at the young people who don't know anything about computer. We really miss. I think we should understand that from the fact that during COVID, how many children they found, you all, that didn't have a computer in their home, you know? So it's just not uncommon.
It's not uncommon. You know, when I started my business 30 years ago, computers had, I'm telling my age, but computers had just kind of made their way into the workplace. We were no longer using our select typewriter. We had that little white box with the little green monochrome screen. Remember that one? And so as it started to evolve, and when I was getting ready to exit my corporate job and become an entrepreneur, one of the things I was going to teach on accounting and bookkeeping, but I also recognized that people start buying computers for their homes and they didn't know how to turn the computer on. Because it was always turned on when they got to work, right? And the program, my girlfriend had said IBM Select, and my girlfriend, some of my clients were like, well, I know how to use it at work. I don't know how to use it at home, but they bought these computers. They're sitting on their desk looking all beautiful. And so I said, for $25 an hour, I'll come and show you how to turn it on. I know remember the floppy disk? I'll show you how to put the floppy disk in. I'll show you how to upload programs. I remember helping people upload AOL when it was on a disk. This is how far back we're talking about. But they didn't know how to do that. And that's literally how I started my business. Just basic computer introduction to basic computers on how do you use it outside of your office.
Well, Crystal, one of the things that I had crafted out even initially was teaching people basic computer, just how to operation their computer, but in their for the seniors in their home, because they like to learn on their own computer. It really make it easier for them to adapt when you teach them on their own computer. Now that's just for seniors, you know, that I would do that for. So don't come talking about you senior at 55. I ain't bothered with you. You can get on up in here, okay?
Yeah. And are you guys all teaching that your cell phone, even though it's very adaptable and it does some amazing things, but there are certain things that you cannot do on the cell phone that you have to do on the computer? Is that part of some of those training classes?
Absolutely. That's a great segue. I was just thinking, actually, on Tuesday night, I teach different concepts, different technology, tech concepts that goes into, and it's kind of an open forum where I'm answering questions and teaching techniques and sharing information on a live on each and every Tuesday, and it's totally free. And it does cover things, and sometimes things just come up and come out because I've had so many years of experience in teaching technology. So cell phones, mobile devices, that include iPads as well. You know, a lot of things you're just not able to do in Chromebooks, because I think the education kind of pulled a number on us and thought schools were really doing something big when they were sending kids home with Chromebooks. That thing doesn't have a hard drive in it, and a lot of programs are not even, you can't even run on a Chromebook. It's a fancy, oversized cell phone. It's a mobile device, and it's just some things you can't do on it. So, and I think even sometimes even our officials aren't technical savvy. Just because you're a leader and a politician, that doesn't mean you're technical savvy and you're making $1 million decisions every day for the populace. It's unfortunate. But
And
I do a Tuesday class to teach technology tips.
And also even our teachers. I remember when they in LA they did the Apple was the Apple Pad, the iPad, right? And they gave all the kids the iPads, and then they brought the teachers in to train them, but the teachers weren't even savvy with using a computer, let alone an iPad. So the kids were teaching the teachers how to use the iPad, and then administration were shocked that the kids could break through the security. Excuse me.
Exactly.
You don't even know how to use it. So you don't even know how to prevent them from doing that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And so many of the teachers had a difficult time in the beginning of COVID because they couldn't do the online courses. They didn't know how to teach online, and they didn't know how to set up their computers. So it's like technology is 20, 30 years in advance, but the people are really back in 1999 when the computers were just first introduced to the regular people in the world, right? And so we got a lot of work to do in order to bring them to where they are. I have a friend, her name is Stacy McBride. She's on right now, and she just popped up in the chat. Stacy and I have this conversation all the time because Stacy is a trainer, and she works for a corporation that sends her to their other locations to train their employees how to use the software that they use. So when I've been telling her, Stacy, you could actually be teaching this and making money on your own, I tell her all the time. And so she just popped up on I tell her you can do this. She goes, there is no way, Crystal, that people don't know how to use Word. Why would anybody pay me to do that? So can you address that, Jacqueline?
That's funny you say that because I have those same conversations with Dr. Milligan. The things that you tell me that people can't do before we actually started this business, I was thinking, no way. We do take for granted because we're technical savvy that people know these things. I was thinking that Dr. Milligan, when she said that, I'm like, oh, that sounds like me. I tell Dr. Milligan that all the time, like, Jackie, these people don't know. And I think, really? Who doesn't know how to get on Zoom?
Trust me,
who doesn't know how to look good on Zoom? And it's just amazing in our Zoom class. And actually, after I started teaching it, to be honest with you, I learned a lot of things like Zoom. Like you don't have to make up. Zoom has a built-in makeup palette.
Oh, they make you look good all the time.
Yeah, you can. It's just a lot of little things, but that's my conversation. I'm team Stacy on that one. That was the same way.
That's really what makes it so interesting. When Jackie wrote her book Jamming on My PC, she brought it to me to kind of edit it and look over because I'm a publisher. So she said, wow, I couldn't have sent it to a better person because she thought, she all this geek talk and stuff. And I remember I didn't know anything about computer 20 years ago. So I said, Jackie, what is an hourglass? And she thought, everybody don't know that. That's why when you get these manuals with instructions, they need to get a basic, simple person who don't know much about it, but is very literate to really look at it. Because I'm telling the way they do their instruction is just really horrible, because they want to be so technical. But one thing that happened, there are a lot of attorneys who actually quit practicing because of technology. Because the court decided, no, you're all not coming down here with all these papers in the front of the clerk file that you're going to have to do it electronic. And they didn't know how to do it. There are attorneys who quit the business, Krista, because of this. There were nurses that I knew, RNs who walked off the battlefield because they had to use computer for their chart. And they said, I'm just not going to do it. So, this thing is really, it's out of control.
It is. So I think what you're doing is absolutely awesome. See, I told you, Stacy, there's an opportunity out there for you, girl. What we think that what comes easy to us does not come easy to everyone else. And basically what I've learned, I've taught myself, but and not that I'm not no computer scientist or any of that. It's just that I know I can't break the computer. and that it's just software. And all I got to do is uninstall it if it don't work, or turn the darn thing off and come back into it. But most people don't know that. And so what are you guys, so how are you going to get this information out, or get the classes out to the marketplace so people can register? And have you been getting a large number of people come through?
We haven't gotten a large number so far, because we just really put it on the market, start trying to get people to join the courses about a month ago, right, Jackie?
Correct.
So we're doing social media, and the most thing we're doing too is just outright, Krista, using our contact, calling people, telling people, and ask people who that we tell about it, because most they say, oh, my mother needs this, my sister. So we're asking people to tell people. You know,
okay.
So we have a large marketing strategy. So we're not just going to be looking on Facebook, because we know that's one thing Jack could teach us. Facebook, if everybody could put their event on Facebook and it went to everybody, because some people think if they put it on Facebook, everybody's on Facebook in the world and out of the world is getting it. It's just so much they don't know. So what Jackie taught us the days, the best days to actually to post. I mean, it's just stuff that you need to know that some people think just automatic. I put it up there and everybody get it. That's not how it is. So
yeah, we're putting together a comprehensive digital marketing plan that's going to incorporate several social media channels, and you choose those channels based on your following. So we're doing based on your business, based on the nature of your business. YouTube is not for everybody. You know, it just depends. If you're doing DIY soap making or something, you probably need to be on YouTube. But you know, if you're a business and you're marketing, if you're a B2B strategist, you need to be on LinkedIn. Facebook may not be the place for you, you know. So we're putting our strategy and our plans together, our digital marketing plans, and seeing where we best land. And I know off the top that Facebook is one of those places because everybody is on Facebook. Facebook is just the mother of all social media. Now they're Instagram and Facebook. So we're getting our strategies together, because it is a science. It's analytics behind and what determines what gets to the top. And that's how people make $20,000 a month on Instagram and Facebook. It's a plan. I mean, people just don't jump up and go viral. That's not a coincidence. It's analytics.
You're absolutely right. And people don't understand which is the best platform. I taught a class last night for the Urban League on marketing in a digital world, and that was one of the things. And there's some other tools out there. You have Pinterest, that if you have a product or you have a DIY kind of product, might be better over at Pinterest, because they have the number of people that they have there that are sharing that, and it's an amazing sharing network, more actually more so than Facebook is. And so there are some programs out there that they're not using that can be beneficial for your business as well. So what are the costs for them to sign up for the classes?
Yeah, our classes range anywhere from as low as $19 to as high as a series for $125. So it just depends. I encourage everybody to go to our website and take a look and see the different classes that we have to offer. And if nothing else, if you just want to see my teaching styles and see how good I am, I'm there every Tuesday free doing a live sign up for it. I encourage everybody to sign up and come on and get your technology questions answered. You know, especially if you're on social media and if it's not working for you, it's a reason for it. There's so many free tools, SEO tools, search engine optimization tools that I share to do your keyword research, all of that, your content. It has to be developed and on point, if you will, to engage your followers. And it doesn't happen overnight. Social media, digital marketing is a slow, long process. It turns like the wheels of government. Slow.
And Jackie, are you the only instructor? Are these on demand, or are you actually doing?
No, I'm actually doing live, and we have a couple of instructors. I'm not the only instructor that teach the classes, and it just depends on the type of the class that you're looking for and with the time that you want to take it. It may be me or maybe one of the other instructors.
Okay. Are you guys looking to increase your instructor database, the number of instructors that you have teaching classes?
Absolutely.
Stacy should send us her resume.
All right, Miss Stacy, you hear that? And then I'm gonna send my resume over for because
the bookkeeping, because that's definitely technology. Nobody wants you to come with a little bag no more with your tax or shoebox, or some handwritten stuff. That then you go, wait a minute, what is this? I don't know what that is because you wrote it out. Okay, no.
Right.
Those days are past and gone. So we definitely need you, Krista.
Okay, I will do. I teach both on QuickBooks. I'm a pro advisor for QuickBooks. Been teaching on that product since they started it in 1988. And then I teach another product called Wave, which is a free accounting program. And I teach that. I can get that folks up and running in about 6 hours to be running full force on using that product. So, and I teach that class pretty much every month to a number of for a number of organizations. But yeah, the more information that we have, and it's so funny, so many people resist the whole accounting piece, right, or the whole bookkeeping software piece. And then when I show them how, and then I teach them, and they learn how to match up and set up their chart of accounts, and then they can run that report, and they're like, I made that much money. Oh my God. Like eye-opening, right?
Yeah, until they look and see, and you say, well, are these all your expenses? And they go, oh no, okay, but you didn't make all the money you thought you made. Where are all the expenses?
Right.
You feel good when you really learn your business, because people used to have people do that, taxes, and if internal revenue call them in, I didn't know. They don't even read it. If you get a refund, they don't care what you put on there. We've seen that through the years, but you need to understand your taxes. You just need to understand your own business. That's what it's all about.
And I am glad you guys are doing this, because half the time when I'm teaching a class, I got to teach basics, and then I can get to the expertise part. But I got to teach you just how to turn the computer on, or not use your phone for everything, and know that you have to use a computer for some things that are out there. So kudos to both of you. However I can help to get you marketed out there, I will send it out to my whole network. Dr. Rosie, we want to make sure you're in the business resource guide for recycling Black dollars, so that people will know. And I will share this. You guys can put this interview. I'm going to edit it up and send it back out to you guys, and it's going to be on my podcast. So here's some technical stuff that I just taught myself. One, I had to teach myself how to edit a video when I started this podcasting, but I had to find a software that was quick enough for me to do it, so that I could get it uploaded, so I could get it to the Black Business Expo 2 weeks ago. so I edited the kids' video, threw some music in there, threw some other transitions, and I learned on YouTube. And then and now I'm moving the BusinessZone, or moving the business over to a podcast channel. So in order to get it I have to edit it down to a certain size, a percentage, 20 minutes or whatever, for it to work. So I've been doing that. And so it's been pretty cool. It's, guys, you don't even realize, once you master, or at least become comfortable in technology, it will open up a whole new world for you to take care of your business and not have to put things off because you can't afford a person to come in and show you how to do it.
That is so true. It's so many things that people don't understand. When someone texts them something, they don't realize, well, I don't know how to text it to someone else to forward. I would like to be able to print this down. They go, well, I can't print it from my cell phone. They have no clue that all they have to do is email that text to them, then download. You'd be surprised that people have no idea. That's what I do is here. I can't print it down. Can you print it from your phone? Right,
exactly. And you're right. What I do is I download something on my phone, I save it, then I email it to myself, and then I open the email up on a computer, then I save it as a PDF, and then I can send it wherever I want. Just that I don't even print things anymore, because if I have a PDF, I can send it and upload it to anybody out there. And it's just those little small techniques that can really change your business life, because you can now actively get people what they need when they need it in a timely manner. So good job, Dr. Rosie. I know you've been talking about this for a long time. And so however I can help, I'm gonna send my girl Stacy over to you because she's good. And I'm gonna sign up so I can teach some classes for you guys as well. We have to. Yesterday, we had Constance Anderson from PCR, not from PCR. She's at the Center of Lendistry, which is a lending organization, and I was asking her, what did the future look like for our small business community? What could she see that our businesses would need to do to prepare for post-pandemic? And so I told her, and so she said, basically, our businesses have to become more tech savvy in order for them to be able to function and to be able to be competitive in a very, very competitive world. So you are right on point. You are definitely solving a necessary problem. Stacy says, Dr. Rosie has been a fan for mine for a very long time. So Dr. Rosie, you are legendary.
Just in the field picking cotton, somebody saw me.
I told somebody this morning, we were talking about revenue streams, and I said to them, for their business, and we were addressing some issues that they have in their business, and where they have some downtime. I said, I'm gonna tell you from a real good friend of mine. She says a revenue stream for every financial obligation that she had. She goes, oh, that's really good. I'm going to share that with my husband. He is going to love that. So she goes, we're going to build us some revenue streams for every obligation we have. So God, I quote you all the time, Dr. Rosie.
That is so important. I tell people you need to have a revenue stream for your bills, one for your saving, one for investment, one for an emergency fund. And people say, what do you mean emergency fund? I say, if you don't have an emergency fund, what you're going to do when you have an emergency? Now you're using those credit cards with high rates of interest. My daughter taught me that. She said, Mama, I have a stream of income, money I set aside just for an emergency. And you don't welcome an emergency. You don't, it doesn't give you permission to come. Keep living. An emergency will come. Engine go out of your car, air conditioning in your house. If you don't have money set aside for that, what do you do?
Exactly.
So I have seven streams of income. In fact, the Bible said, I think it's Ecclesiastes 11:2, you should have 7, and said, no, 8, because you don't know what this aster may come up on the land. That's in the Bible.
So you are operating from the Bible.
So well, I am the biblical plate, eat it all. Eat the asparagus, eat everything, leave something for your children. Now eat the whole plate. If you're gonna eat from the biblical plate, eat everything on it.
I 150% agree with you, Dr. Rosie. So there you go. Wisdom from Dr. Rosie. You need 8 revenue streams to cover any financial catastrophe obligation that you may have, investments, everything, so that you make sure that you are financially ready for whatever is going to encounter you. Dr. Rosie does wills and trusts, and I am sure, Dr. Rosie, you are so tired of seeing people crowdfund to bury their loved ones.
I'm so sick of passing their hat and that kind of stuff. It doesn't make sense at all. Have your little stream of income. See, I have a stream of income for the stragglers in my family, and everybody have stragglers. Those who ain't gonna work, ain't gonna do nothing. Those who gonna borrow, ain't gonna pay you back. They're not gonna pay you back. So when they come, hit this little fund over here for them. Okay? So
yeah. I have a friend that has that fund. He has it. He calls it his. So he makes, he's probably one of the highest earners in his family. So he sets up every year. He replenishes it, a fund for the, I guess you would call the stragglers in the family. He has his sister administer it. They have to go to his sister, not to him. And when they call and looking for money, then they have money set up for whatever the the family members may need. And so that way it kept them from coming to him on a regular basis like he was the bank. And it just go there, and the sister does the qualifications as to whether you really should get the money or not.
I like that.
So that's what they call it. And so the sister is the family fund, but the family fund has to go through a third party to get to the money and not to him. So
well,
it
that's
works.
why I'm gonna have to get a third party so they won't come to me, because
Yeah,
I don't
there
know
you go.
how to get any of them down. You know, well, you helped Lily last week, and then I go.
Right. So this takes you out of the equation. You have to get you a third party, non-biased party that is not going to let you ride all over them, and they're not going to use all the sob stories on you. So so that's how it is. Dr. Rosie, thank you so much for being on the Business Zone. We so appreciate it. I am going to send this over to you so that you can put it on your website. And I'm going to send a number of people over to my tech. I think I saw the flyer, the one that you've been putting on Facebook, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm going to download the flyer, and I'm going to market it out when I send out the community briefing next week and any other marketing. And I want to thank you so much. It's been a great interview with you and Jacqueline. It was a pleasure to meet her. And I think you really tapped into a really good one, this one.
Yes, and it's so important, Jackie. Christopher, for us to understand the dynamics of uniting. You know, don't just try to do a business all by yourself. We both bring important things to the table, and you don't have to be. That's one thing about technology. You don't even have to live in the same city. You don't have to be around the corner next door. Wow, I love technology.
And technology is awesome. And so people got to get on board, everyone. We want you to stop saying you're technically challenged, and we want your new mantra to be, I am technically savvy. That's the new mantra. So thank you so much, Dr. Rosie. You guys have tuned in to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, a weekly podcast that broadcasts live every Friday afternoon at 3:00. We want you to run on over to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button so you'll get a notification. You will be able to find this our show archived on YouTube as well as on any of your favorite podcasting channels. It will be up on by tomorrow. And so download it and share it with your friends. Make sure I'm going to put the contact information in for my tech academy, so you guys can go over and sign up. Very affordable. Invest in your business, invest in your life, invest in becoming technically savvy. Gilbert, we want you to hurry up and speedily get better, so you'll be back on the show next week. And for those of you that I may not see next week, but I want you to come back next week at 3:00. Have a happy holiday. Be safe. Make sure you mask up. As I said, my co-host he tested positive for COVID. And I want to share something with you guys. Gilbert was isolated from the people he just started venturing out into the public in April of this year. He refused to meet with anybody for all of 2020 and the first part of 2021. The first time he ventures out to go visit, he gets COVID. So be careful, mask up, get your vaccination and a booster shot. You don't know where COVID is lingering around the corner, waiting to get you. So with that, we're going to end the show. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. Go over to our YouTube channel, check out this show and the other shows that we have archived. Thank you, guys. See you next Friday at 3:00.
Thank you.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm a